I'm Philip Jordan with I Love Colorado Beer. I'm here at Boulder Beer Company, and I'm with
Jeff Brown, president of Boulder Beer Company.
And I'm David Zuckerman, brewmaster.
Awesome. So when did you guys come about? What year did this start?
Well, the brewery got started in 1979 by a couple of CU professors that started out as home brewers and then started commercially brewing, and we were Colorado's first craft brewer, and actually had the 43rd brewing license in the country at that point in time.
Wow.
And I got involved with the brewery from a drinking standpoint in 1980, but from an ownership standpoint in 1991.
Perfect. And how many owners are there?
There are 4 owners total.
Excellent. And what are your roles in the company?
David, I'll let you take that one.
My role here is overseeing the production, so helping coordinate brewing, packaging, shipping, quality control, and keeping all of those processes on track.
Cool.
And myself, as president of the company, I kind of handle more from an administrative standpoint, sales, marketing, financials.
Sure.
So it's more of the background of the business than the upfront part.
Absolutely. So being a craft brewery and a restaurant, very different than just having a tap house. When did that come about? When did you guys start introducing food, or has it always been food focused?
There was food here. I arrived here in 1990, and there was a very small food program going in a kitchen about the size of a closet, and it's been revamped. Jeff's revamped it several times over the last 25 years?
Yeah. So 94 we expanded the kitchen, and then again in 2004 did another remodel, refresh, and we're getting ready to do another round of refreshing that in probably the next 6 to 8 months.
Have you guys physically grown? Has your space gotten larger, or has this always been the space you've been in?
The brewery was built as a standalone brewery, which is fairly unique at the time it was unique and probably still is. So the original footprint stood until 1994, at which point we kind of changed the configuration of the brewery, added fermentation capacity upstairs, and then moved cold storage and dry storage into a new block of the building. But we have the building's very large, much larger inside than it looks from the outside.
Sure. So tell me a little bit about the challenges you guys experienced coming into a business. I mean, you guys came in after it was well established. What were some of the challenges you guys faced?
The brewery from 1979 to 1989 was established, but it was really coming in and taking a look at what brands the brewery had at that point in time, and a lot of the challenges were assessing the brewery capabilities and going about putting together a business plan that we scaled back significantly from the markets that the brewery was in at that time. From about 26 states, I think they were marketed to, we scaled it back to about 4 states.
Okay.
And then started to really build the brands from those 4 states up, and then take and expand it out further. So we really retrenched, and that was one of the biggest challenges we had.
So how far out do you distribute now?
We're in 34 states total, so we go both coasts. Northeast is a significant market, southeast, southwest. So we're happy with the geographic footprint we have now.
So let me ask you a little bit about your branding. Your branding is very unique on all of your bottles. You can point it out in a liquor store. You know what beer is yours. What inspired that? Do you guys know the inspiration of the story behind that?
Well, I think the inspiration was to have as you say, an easily recognizable footprint on the shelf.
Yep.
It's the billboard effect that we've got the oval in all of the designs. We've got the same font on everything, and that was intentional to make it simple to recognize.
Absolutely. I just didn't know about the names of anything as well. I mean, the Mojo and the Haze. I mean, they're really fun, and
the names all have names
Have they
all
been
have
there?
individual stories.
Absolutely.
There's no set path on how we come up with a name.
So tell me about a beer that has surprised you as far as possibly sales, flavor, just something that surprised you that you didn't think would be as successful as it is.
Well, I would say Shake would be the
Yeah.
kind of the surprise.
Yep.
That's our most recent year-round edition, and I think it's not quite 3 years old yet.
Mhm.
And from the first month we released it, it was our #1 beer, and it hasn't given up on that at all, and continues to grow.
Do you guys have a style of beer that you're more focused on, or that you guys believe you guys are better at?
Well, I would like to think we're good at all the styles that we do.
Fair
We
enough.
have a lot of IPAs, which
Sure.
certainly reflects the flavor preference of the staff here,
Okay.
and it's also a reflection of the market. But we go from Buffalo Gold, which is our lightest ale, all the way up to, well, I mean, today we just packaged the Dude's Despair, which is a barrel-aged imperial stout. So we cover quite a bit of ground.
Excellent. So fermenters, all that, have you guys expanded as far as size and how fast you can produce beer?
We've expanded significantly since 1990. I think our capacity back then was maybe 3,600 barrels, something like that from a fermenter standpoint. It was pretty small. We had, 3 or 4 50-barrel fermenters.
4 50-barrel fermenters.
Wow.
And so now the fermentation capacity has grown to about 34,000 barrels in terms of what we have, and then there's additional footprint we have to increase the fermentation farms that we have.
Excellent. So how many beers do you try to have on tap at all times? In the actual tap house?
For our brewery, we have 12 beers that are on tap.
How many flagships do you have?
Well, I wouldn't say we have a flagship beer. I'd say Shake is our #1. It's our best-selling beer. But then we've got pilot brews that we have on downstairs. That are experimental batch beers that we're doing. We've always got a cask on tap. So it's 12 beers. We've got 7 beers that we kind of have out on a year-round basis, and then the others just make up a rotation of what's there, as well as beers that may never make it outside of the pub. So a lot of the beers that we do brew, the guests will experience them here, and they may not find them out anywhere else out in the marketplace.
Absolutely. So I heard you say experimental batches. Would you guys say that overall you guys use more of the scientific method of brewing beer, or do you guys tend to do a trial and error?
I don't know. What do you say the scientific method is?
So, I mean, you guys are very established. So you guys have your flagship beers, which the recipe probably never change. But all your seasonals and such, do you guys use a recipe and stick to it? Or do you guys every time just kind of play around, add to it, shake it up a little bit? No pun intended.
There's no. Once we hit the production level, that's the set recipe.
Yep.
So it's not the ingredients necessarily that's the set recipe. It's the flavors and aromas that's set.
Okay.
So based on crop variations, the beer that gets to the beer drinker is the same.
Yep.
Regardless of what how strong the hops are or the extract out of the malt. So we're striving for repeatability on that. On the pilot system, we're just looking for interesting flavors and aromas.
Have you guys had a batch of beer that came out completely different than what you thought it would be and has been successful? You just kind of changed the name of it a little bit in the style?
Not by that description. We've had mistakes that have turned out to be beers that people liked.
Absolutely.
But that's more of a, that's when a porter got milled on top of the double IPA.
Nice.
I wasn't too happy, but
The beer turned out. The beer turned out great. But that's from that standpoint. We don't like just winging it.
Yeah.
Saying, okay, here's something. Let's try it.
Absolutely.
The brewers downstairs, on the other hand, when they're doing their pilot systems, even then, they have an end product in mind when they start brewing.
Yep. and it's just getting from A to B. They'll add a little bit or tweak it a little bit just to make it better, and then. But again, next year. So this Scourge of the Dude, this is coming out this next weekend, correct?
Dude's Despair.
Dude's Despair.
Yes,
So that was last year.
The first, this is the third release this year. The first release was The Dude's Bane. The second release was Scourge of the Dude, and then this year is The Dude's Despair.
And so this recipe has changed every time?
Yes.
Yes.
The first
Very
two were barley wines
Okay.
of different recipes. This year it's a barrel-aged imperial stout.
Very cool. So how often do you guys barrel age? Do you guys barrel age a lot of your beers?
We've got barrel aging going all the time, but it's on a very small volume.
Okay, how many barrels do you guys have? Roughly.
As of 2 days ago, we probably had 30 going, but 18 or so of those are now what we packaged today.
Perfect. Tell me a little bit about your brewery. I mean, obviously you guys are a full-on restaurant, so probably doesn't cater as much to animals or pets as some of them do. Or correct me if I'm wrong.
No, we have a pet friendly patio,
Excellent.
dog
It's
friendly.
good to know. Okay.
Yeah, and
it's very family friendly, I take it.
yeah, it's very family friendly. We've got a beautiful view of the Flatirons from our patio. So from a brewery standpoint, I'd say we've got one of, if not the best, patio beer garden to actually enjoy. Brewery itself is about 20,000 square feet, and about 3,000 square feet of that is dedicated to the restaurant. And we're open from a pub standpoint. We're open from 11 in the morning until 10 at night, Monday through Saturday. We open at noon on Saturday. But beginning next spring, we'll actually be open on Sunday as well.
So do you guys have a lot of festivities going on here, events, parties that go on?
Well, there's always events happening here, whether it's organized events that are booked or just people spontaneously showing up. But we're located in the middle of a business park, so there's, I think, maybe 3,000 or 4,000 people who work on Wilderness Place, and then there's a growing residential base right around us. So, I mean, we see a good cross section of the Boulder community here and of the tourist community, because there's a lot of people come in on beer tourism events. So we see those on our daily tours, and because we have such a big distribution footprint, a lot of people come here because they may live in Boston and enjoy our beer there, and on a trip out to Colorado they want to see where that beer came from.
Very cool. So where can we find you guys? Social media, website?
Yeah, website. We got a great website. We're Twitter, Instagram, Facebook are all sites where you can find us.
And it's Boulder Beer. Is it
BoulderBeerCO.com.
BoulderBeer.com?
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Cool.